Good evening, everyone. I'll call to order the regular meeting of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, March 14th, 2024, 6 p.m. I'd like to invite Robert Jones forward to provide us an invocation and lead us in our pledge, if everyone will stand.
Let's pray. Father, thank you for every seat that has been filled here tonight, for each mind and heart that feels the presence of this room. We thank you. Only you truly know what we are setting out to accomplish tonight. We have an idea, a vision, hints, and daily instructions. We have talents, abilities, and time to work. However, you, only you, can see in perfect detail the end of every beginning. Every project, every season, every life, nothing is ever in vain, for even mistakes and missteps are used for your good. Your righteousness transcends all our efforts and understanding. Forgive us for our pride, the pride that puffs us up, the pride that threatens to unqualify us. Strengthen our confidence in who you made us to be. Set us free from comparison in order to work together efficiently. Bless this meeting, O Lord, all those present, and as the lives of those who will encounter after. Ready us to make every moment count. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Mayor Williams,
Here.
Vice Mayor Haynes. Here. Councilmember Cagle.
Here.
Councilmember Tyler.
Here.
Councilmember Witt.
Here.
City Manager Miller.
Here.
City Attorney Litchford.
Assistant City Attorney Holloway is in place of Mr. Litchford tonight.
All right. The first item on the agenda is our milestone awards for February 2024. This is where we recognize our employees for their dedication and their service to our community and to our city. February, we had one individual from our police department, Teddy Dyer. He had 5 years of service, so we appreciate him for his service, along with every employee. They are what makes our city great. So he will be getting recognition, PN certificate, and a check. So we appreciate him. The next item on the agenda is our consent agenda, which is the minutes from February 22nd, 2024 council meeting, also the financial report for January 2024. So I assume everyone's had an opportunity to read those items, and I will entertain a motion for the consent agenda.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Have a motion to approve by Councilmember Tyler and a second by Councilmember Witt. Do we have any discussion or corrections? See none. Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Haynes.
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle.
Yes.
Councilmember Tyler.
Yes.
Councilmember Witt.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Consent agenda approved. We'll move to the next item, communications from citizens. This is an opportunity for any citizen to come forward and address the council with any questions, concerns, or accolades. We have one that signed in, Mr. Leach. If you'll come forward, if you'll give us your name and your address, and you'll have 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. My name is Stephen Leach, 519 Donaldson Road here in the city. I was here initially because I thought we were going to have a zoning case, but I realized that the zoning case had been withdrawn. And it was a zoning case over on South Germantown for commercial zoning in an existing building, which was a long used, I think since 47 years of being a church, and they were going to convert it to commercial. It was dance studio and some other things. And anyway, so that's been withdrawn, thank goodness. But I saw Resolution 3517, which was adopted by the council on the February 24th meeting. And 3517 really was a resolution that provided protection from R1 zone single-family areas against encroachment from multifamily. Now, I went through it and looked at the document itself, and I got it from the staff. Thank you, staff, for providing that to me. And this is so well written, and it's such a needed item for protection of the residential areas in East Ridge. And there are 9 principles in connection with a rezoning process. So if you look through it, there are 9 principles laid out to protect the single-family residential against multifamily. And I think several of these principles would relate really well to commercial zoning. The particular case that I was looking at over on South Germantown was a spot zone, commercial zone in a residential area, strictly a spot zone. The other issue I thought is if you had approved that, if it's been approved, then we would have a precedent on South Germantown. Now, if you know anything about South Germantown, it's just all residential. North of the interstate, there's some office zoning that occurred many years ago under a different zoning ordinance. Currently, though, there's been no commercial all the way down to Ringo Road. So it's like 6/10 of a mile, but they're residential, and they're all smaller lots or residential lots tucked up against the frontage along South Germantown. So potential precedent for this zoning case would have been, I think, really detrimental to the community. And I guess my request is to have the council expand the resolution that was passed, 3517, to include commercial rezoning, either a different draft, a different resolution, I guess, that the city attorney's office could redraft it, or provide another resolution very similar to that to protect residential zones from encroachment in commercial. And I've seen it all over the county. A road starts off with 1 or 2, and then all of a sudden it's just strip zoned. So that's really what I wanted to be here tonight to propose to y'all, if you would accept that proposal. And I just think there's a compelling reason to do that, particularly in this case, and in all McBrien's and all the roads that connect between the interstate and Ringo Road, and allow Ringo Road to be the commercial artery and not strip zone along these secondary roads. So that's my plea tonight before the board, and thank you, council, for listening. Thank you, Mayor, for recognizing me.
Thank you, sir.
Any questions?
Any questions, council? Nope. Appreciate your comments and your input.
Thank y'all.
Thank you for your service on the board for WWTA as well. Bye. All right, that is all that is actually signed in. Is there anyone else in the audience that would like to come forward at this time? I see no one, so we'll now move to communications from council members. We'll start on this side. Councilmember Tyler.
I have nothing at this time. Thank you.
Councilmember Whitt. Vice Mayor Haynes. Councilmember Cagle. Okay. I have a few things. As we know, the month of March is the National Women's History Month, designated in 1987 by Congress to recognize the women of many accomplishments and vital roles women throughout American history. Very excited that the City of East Ridge held their second annual National Women's Day History Celebration Saturday, March 19th. We had several local vendors that provided information in various local women's services, along with those offering unique local products for sale. Kudos to Parks and Rec. It was a great event. Stopped by and visited, so we appreciate them supporting that, and everyone that came and attended. A few upcoming events: East Ridge Parks and Recs offering their Friday Night Lights. The registration will end on the 23rd. The season runs from April 5th to May 17th. There's a 6-game season and an end-of-season tournament. And then saw this post, I believe today, that we're having an Easter egg decorating contest. Come to the Easter egg coloring contest. The event will be the 27th from 5:30 to 7:30. It's going to be at the community center. And there's going to be plenty of prints and coloring utensils for the kiddos, and the 3 best colored eggs will win a prize. Then I also wanted to mention that the library is having a craft fair on April the 27th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. It benefits the East Ridge Library. There'll be local vendors, food, petting zoo with pony rides, door prizes, and book sale, and it is entrance is free, and that'll be in the community center as well. And that is all that I have. So I will now pass it over to City Manager Miller.
Thank you, Mayor Williams. Just a couple updates. First off, Ringgold Road multimodal project. We've had a couple good weeks of good weather, and we've seen a lot of improvements being made on the north side of Ringgold Road. Tally has completed the installation of the storm drain structures on the north side of Ringgold Road towards Weldon, just west of Harper Motorsports. The installation of the wall is complete, drainage is complete, so they'll be installing the curb and the sidewalk on this stretch of roadway the last week in March, again, weather permitting. And Tally plans on finishing up the curb and the sidewalk work by the end of March. That would be from McBrien all the way west to Weldon. They've completed the binder course and all the driveway approaches on the north side of Ringgold Road between McBrien and Domino's Pizza, and they hope to complete that with a final wearing surface over the next several weeks, again, weather permitting. So they're hoping to get all of this completed at least by the end of March or the first, second week in April, again, weather permitting, if we can get a good sunshine out there as we have this past week. We're hoping that they can open up the 2 lanes, westbound lanes, at least by the second week in April. Moving on, Tally again. They completed the milling and the resurfacing of McBrien Road in 2.5 days. It's done. Rode it today. It's resurfaced. It's painted the stripes. They've got a little bit of cleanup work to do here or there. Now all we need to do is take care of some of the odds and ends. Tally is in the midst right now, underway with the 2003-2004 road resurfacing program. And if we can, I know tomorrow's going to be out. They're calling for 70% rain tomorrow, but next week we look like we may have 5 days with the temperatures in the 60s and 70s. And if that happens, we should be able to finish up the road resurfacing for this year. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thanks, sir. Question on Ringgold Road. I know that there's going to be some paving that'll need to occur on the north and south side of the lanes for some of those entrances, or what did you call them?
Driveway access?
Well, where they're going to come back on Ringgold Road and they're going to pave.
Okay. State standards call for whenever there's a storm inlet,
That's
you
right.
have to pave
Inlets.
25 feet on each side of the storm inlets. And we've got a myriad of storm inlets on both the north and south side. However, there's going to be gaps between the storm inlets that are not going to be resurfaced on the outside lane. So we're working with ASA and Tally to come up with a price that would be at least advantageous to the city, but beneficial as well as within our cost guidelines to be able to resurface the whole outside lane. So
Right.
we would have a continuity of pavement.
Great info. I wasn't going there, but that's okay. It's good information. The question I have there is, will they open up Ringgold Road prior to that and then close it as they're doing that paving of those inlets, or will
Yes.
it be
No,
shut
no,
down?
No. They will open up the road, and when they're doing the pavement of the outside lanes, they can do that that's only
Okay.
day work, and they can just
Perfect.
People are going to slow down and move to the left-hand lane anyway, just towards the center lane when they see a paver with trucks and asphalt equipment up ahead.
Good,
And,
good. That's what I wanted to hear. I'm ready for the thing to be open.
Yes. So am I.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, we do not have any old business, so we'll move into new business. Item number 8, ordinance number 1204.
An ordinance of the East Ridge City Council to amend ordinance number 481 entitled the East Ridge Zoning Ordinance, Article 6 Supplemental Regulations and Exceptions in order to establish additional safety regulations and protections for the community. And this is the first reading.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Howell.
Yes, Mayor and Council, the proposed amendments to Ordinance 1204 aim to establish safety regulations and additional requirements for permit holders of retail fireworks sales. Currently, fireworks stores are allowed in the C1 and C2 commercial districts. These new amendments would allow fireworks only to be established within the Highway 41 corridor within the C1 and C2 districts. Under the new regulation, the proposed fireworks stores must meet linear foot distances from the following: residential properties, hospitals, schools, parks, public buildings, fuel outlets, storage areas, other fireworks sales locations, properties with existing buildings, businesses, and the distance to property lines or public right-of-way. These combined regulations aim to enhance public safety and protect the public and citizens of East Ridge.
Thank you, sir. All right, I will entertain a motion for ordinance number 1204.
Make a motion to approve ordinance number 1204.
Second.
Have a motion to approve by Vice Mayor Haynes and a second by Councilmember Witt. Do we have any discussion?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Do you have any?
I'll let you go first.
No, you go ahead.
I was just wanting to know that, do all of our current fireworks retailers meet these requirements?
So these businesses, for lack of better terms, would be grandfathered in for distance locations, yeah.
So they're grandfathered in, but I guess that's not really my question. Do they meet the standard now?
They meet the standards of Ordinance 901 as of now.
Right, but-
These new regulations being in place, whether your linear or foot distances, no, they do not meet those.
Do they have to reapply for their permits every year, or?
Yes, they do, but this, I mean, like I said, they're still grandfathered under 901.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I noticed the thing we're going to change first will be permitting C1, C2, and Ringo Road. Before, it just says C1 and C2, so we're adding Ringo Road, okay? The distance qualification, anything on Ringo Road that's in a commercial zoning. I just don't, there's none of these right here that anything on Ringo Road can allow a fireworks store. Principally because of the distance back. The 7,500 square foot is really bad, this 2,500 is, and then also the ones that might do it, but then everybody knows that behind those commercial properties is residential. So then there's one up here, got to be 1,000 foot from any residential zoning. So I'm against this because of the fact that these zonings, I mean, these setbacks and stuff are just too strenuous. I think we need to take this back and readjust some of this. Especially since the only place we're going to be putting it is on Ringo Road. You know, we got one over here on Terrace that's out of, as I put it, out of sight, out of mind, but it's over there. And so we're not going to allow any to go over there, maybe to be put in on Terrace or up the other end, up there on the other end. So I just think these setbacks of things are too strenuous. I like the idea of the fact that we don't want them in a commercial building that's already got retail in them. But this distance right here where it says 250 foot from the public right of way. With everything on Ringo Road, well, we're in trouble there. There couldn't be nobody qualify. And there's one up here about the fuel tanks, 3,000 foot. It's hard to walk 3,000 foot up Ringo Road to where there's not a fuel tank in the ground. So I just think this needs to be tabled till these distances might be looked at, reevaluated or something.
Anything to add, Mr. Howell?
No, nothing to add. I mean, this ordinance is written as a lot of TCA codes are written for the whole entire state of Tennessee with one thing in mind: public safety.
Correct.
Public safety, public safety, and that's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, Councilmember Cagle, you mean 2,000 from a hospital, public park, educational facility, 3,000 from a,
School,
well, and then we're talking 3,000 from, a gasoline, kerosene, or propane outlet. For safety, we've got 2 that are sitting right next to gas stations currently, but again, they'll grandfathered in, so it doesn't impact them. So,
I'd like to say one other thing about public safety, okay? If we do this, fireworks, everybody knows, is nothing but black powder, correct? Okay. So if there's a gun store or ammunition store that wants to come in here, start selling guns and ammunition, and then they will be selling reload equipment, which requires black powder, so it's going to have to be stored. So it's going to be the same thing as a safety factor. So are they going to be required to go with these foot distances too? Even though they're not called fireworks, they're called gun shops.
I think you're looking at a totally different terminology. Would you agree on that? Michael, I'm sorry.
You're fine. I'm not sure that it would be a different terminology, but, I mean, because Councilmember Cagle is correct that the root, not to misuse the phrase, but the root charge and all of that is black powder. I'm not familiar with the powders used in ammunition. I'm not familiar with the volatility of how volatile they may be, how safe they may be when stored. But I think it sounds like the city's concern here is regulating public safety as it relates to fireworks. I'm not certain we know where there are a handful of existing fireworks stores and stands within the city of East Ridge. Outside of Bass Pro Shops down near Exit 1 in Camp Jordan, I'm not sure of any other stores in East Ridge that presently sell firearms
Went out of business.
and ammunition. I do think a fair reading of this ordinance is it will be very difficult for a new fireworks stand to establish itself. There's 2 days a year that's a problem, but there's 363 where public safety's in mind, So, but I understand how they are perceived as being similar, but I would think that the ammunition is far more stable and safer. It's
Would agree.
why they're all professionally manufactured to some extent. We don't know where the country of origin these fireworks may be. Most of the ammunition that I think is manufactured and sold here is manufactured domestically by the big name brands like Remington, Winchester, names like that. I think are all domestically manufactured. So I think it's reasonable to assume that those are inherently safer given our product safeguards and stuff like that we have in our country as opposed to fireworks that are manufactured elsewhere.
But let me say this. Say one of these down here is burned down and they decide not to build back. Okay. Unless the owner builds back, then they can build back. So then that one that burnt down, then no one else can buy the property, come back in and build back. So I understand that part. So why can't we just put a limit of number of fireworks stores instead of just putting all these foot distance restrictions, and just put a limit to the number of fireworks stores that we're going to allow in East Ridge like we did the liquor stores?
Well, I think it's still, that takes out the public safety aspect of it, because if you just let them go anywhere, I think that the intent of this is to protect the safety of the location next to other populated areas, other businesses, other, high volatile businesses like gas stations and stuff, but I believe we've got our fire chief wanting to weigh in also on something, or Mr. Howell does as well.
Mr. Cagle's asking about ammunition and such. There is an ordinance that the city does have on how much ammunition, type of powders, black powder, smokeless powder, primers, and such, and how it's stored and the amount that can be stored. Bass Pro, for example, when they opened, their black powder cannot be stored out on the counter. It has to be stored in a safe that is fireproof in the back. The request has to be made for that powder. They can only store so much powder in the store at any certain time. There is one other store out here currently that is selling firearms down past Scruggs Road. They will fall under the same stipulations on how much they can carry, how much they can store, and how much is on scene according to the ordinance that the city adopted back around 2012.
So do we monitor this? Do we monitor this, what they're storing and things like that?
You. Do we have any other questions or any other actions?
I know safety's a big concern to me if I live near it. I don't live near one, but if I did, I would be worried.
So, do any of the current fireworks stores meet this new requirement? No.
They do not.
So this would effectively, according to Mr. Cagle's estimate on all of the measurements, this would effectively ban fireworks stores.
You would have a very, very difficult time getting another fireworks store in East Ridge, yes.
It's probably a few locations, but based on safety, it would be very limited. But again, those would be grandfathered in. And then, correct me if I'm wrong, if something did occur with one of those, they would have the ability to rebuild.
Yeah, it'd fall under the non-conforming rule at that point, whether the buildings sustain damage over 50% or less than 50%.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
Any other questions? All right. Well, we have a motion and a second on the floor, so if no other questions, roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Haynes.
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle.
I'm going to abstain tonight because I just got several more questions I want to look into.
Councilmember Tyler.
No.
Councilmember Witt.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. All right. Ordinance number 1204 approved. We'll move to item B, resolution number 3521.
A resolution of the City Council of the City of East Ridge, Tennessee, authorizing participation by the City of East Ridge in the Buy-Board National Purchasing Cooperative, otherwise known as Buy-Board.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, this is just another ability for us to buy. Since COVID and the aftermath of that, it's really hard sometimes to get from some vendors. So this opens us up to more vendors. They've done the bidding process and everything, so we just will be able to purchase. For example, mowers or things like that.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, council, I'll entertain a motion for resolution number 3521.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 3521.
Second.
Have a motion approved by Councilmember Tyler and a second by Councilmember Witt. Do we have any discussion?
One question.
Yes, sir.
I noticed here lately we've been getting into these national purchasing cooperation things. Do they coordinate and sell the same things?
Some things, yes, but some things, no. Some will be more geared towards education. Some, like we've been looking for ones that sell dog food, cat food. Some do, some don't. I mean, it just depends on what all they've made their contracts with.
But we are shopping to see which ones, okay.
We're always shopping.
Anyone else? Seeing none, roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Haynes. Councilmember Cagle.
Yes.
Councilmember Tyler.
Yes.
Councilmember Witt.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Resolution number 3521 passed. We'll move to item C, resolution number 3522.
A resolution of the East Ridge City Council authorizing the mayor to execute a notice of intent for the Hamilton County Water Quality Department to conduct all water quality inspections within Hamilton County.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Howell.
Yes, Mayor and Council, in your guys' agenda packet, you will find a map displaying the water quality boundary. The green hatched area indicates the boundary area inspected by Hamilton County Water Quality at the moment, while outside boundary area, TDEC performs all inspections in this area. And TDEC is facing difficulties providing timely inspections within these areas beyond Hamilton County Water Quality boundary area. And this is due to the increasing demand of residential and commercial development within these areas. Hamilton County Water Quality has received approval from TDEC to expand the boundary areas of the Hamilton County to the Hamilton County limits. To proceed with this expansion, the mayor of each municipality in their local agreement with Hamilton County Water Quality will need to sign a notice of intent to proceed to the new boundary areas.
Thank you, sir. Council, I'll entertain a motion for resolution number 3522.
I make a motion to approve resolution number 3522.
Second?
A motion to approve by Councilmember Witt and a second by Councilmember Tyler. Do we have any discussion? See none. Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Haynes.
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle.
Yes.
Councilmember Tyler.
Yes.
Councilmember Witt.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Resolution number 3522 approved. We'll move to item D, resolution number 3523.
A resolution of the East Ridge City Council to approve an appointment by Councilmember Tyler to fill an unexpired term on the East Ridge Beer Board.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Mr. Tyler.
Yes, I've reached out to Michelle Roberts, who's been a longtime East Ridge citizen, and I think she would be great for the position.
So you're appointing Ms. Roberts?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. I will entertain a motion for the appointment of Ms. Roberts to the Beer Board.
I make a motion to appoint Ms. Roberts to the Beer Board, resolution number 3523.
Second?
Have a motion to approve by Councilmember Witt and a second by Councilmember Tyler. Do we have any discussion? I see none. Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Haynes.
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle.
Yes.
Councilmember Tyler.
Yes.
Councilmember Witt.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. And we welcome Ms. Roberts and we thank her for her service to the city. We'll move to item E, resolution number 3524.
A resolution of the East Ridge City Council approving the fabrication and installation of 2 Welcome to East Ridge signs to be placed at the off-ramp locations at Ringgold Road and Interstate 75.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Miller?
Yeah, this was an initiative by members of the council and staff, goes back several years, about putting some signs, welcome to city of East Ridge, coming into the city. We originally got with Ortwin Signs, who's our sign contractor, to look at placing them on the northbound off-ramp and the southbound off-ramp of I-75, as well as coming out of the Bachman tunnels, coming into East Ridge, and also on Ringgold Road, coming in to East Ridge in Tennessee from Georgia. The cost of that was a little bit high, over $150,000, so we ratcheted that back and felt that let's go with the signs on the off-ramps of Ringgold Road and I-75, make them a little wider, and enlarge some enlarged letters on it. You've got copies of what the elevations are in the back of your packet. These times, 2 signs done by Ortwin, where the fabrication and installation would be $116,500. Do want to mention that we do have an appropriation in the fiscal year 24-25 capital improvement fund, not the general fund, capital improvement fund for resurfacing parking lots in Camp Jordan in the amount of $500,000. We are in the midst of a study on sports facility feasibility study by Victus that's looking at what we can bring in, expand venues within Camp Jordan to increase participation in competitive sports and tournaments. We're not so sure what the outcome of that's going to be till Memorial Day, and also how we would get funding, work this out with the county, because I know the county's contributed a little bit for the study. But we didn't want to start resurfacing parking lots out there when we don't know if we're going to be expanding venues or fields or so forth where we have existing parking lots now. So John and I got together, and of the $500,000 appropriation, we looked at reprogramming that $300,000 for resurfacing pathways to the ball fields. We do have some ball fields that need pathways reestablished, but not to the tune of $500,000. But we would take $116,500 for the Welcome to East Ridge signs at exit 1. So when you get off I-75, which brings in an awful lot of people going southbound and northbound, especially northbound, because we're the first stop in the state of Tennessee, and we've got a lot to add. We've got a lot to offer with our hotel chains that have been constructed down there, as well as our myriad of fast food and sit-down restaurants that we have built and seen constructed over the past 7 years. Kind of give a statement to say, welcome to East Ridge, you're not in Chattanooga. Anyway, and then finish it off by saying for the next item on the agenda for the acquisition of a jet vac trailer, we were going to look at $76,000 for that. I don't mean anything against Chattanooga, but when you come into Office 75, many people think they're in Chattanooga. I want them to know that they're in East Ridge. We're proud of it. All that new development down there, I want to showcase our city. And that's one way to get it done, is let them know where they are.
Thanks, sir. All right, council, I'll entertain a motion for resolution number 3524.
Okay, I make a motion to approve resolution 3524.
Second.
A motion to approve by Vice Mayor Haynes and a second by Councilmember Tyler. Do we have any discussion?
One question.
Yes, sir.
I see the electrical drawing right here where they're gonna run it through the signs, but I don't see where it's coming from. Is it already down there, or are we gonna have to pay an electrical company to come down there and run it out there to the sign? Because I don't see no price of it in the Port Wine sign bid.
That I don't, to be honest with you, I'm not sure whether, I believe that was supposed to be in their estimate for the work to be done. But if not, there would be a cost to run electrical to it then.
So this cost is gonna go up from 116.
It could, yes.
Yeah, okay.
I do suspect it probably will, but I'm gonna keep it minimal as possible to get the electrical. We'll get 3 quotes as we usually do.
Any other questions? I see none. Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Haynes,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
Yes,
Councilmember Tyler,
Yes.
Councilmember Witt,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Resolution number 3524 approved. We'll move to item F, resolution number 3525.
A resolution of the East Ridge City Council authorizing the purchase of a water jet trailer from Sewer Equipment Company of America through the Sourcewell Purchasing Alliance contract listing number 101221-SCA.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Miller?
Thank you, Mayor. Our current streets water jet truck is a 1990 Ford F700 jet truck. It is inoperable, and the parts for the motor are shot and unavailable for acquisition. So we can't get it fixed. I don't want to put good money into a truck that's going to keep breaking down on us. We use the water truck frequently, especially this time of year, to clear out the storm inlets and storm drain lines, as well as the Streets Department, the Parks and Recreation Department utilizes it to wash off the sidewalks and the pathways between the ball fields and so forth over heavy rains, leave deposits of soil on it. So we're looking not at a truck, but we're looking at a trailer to be able to accommodate the services that I mentioned. We're looking at a heavy-duty, high-performance, one trailer that would have longevity to it. We found one through Sewer Equipment Company of America in the amount of $75,200. So I'm asking for authorization to proceed with that.
Thank you, sir. Council, I'll entertain a motion for resolution number 3525.
I make a motion to approve resolution number 3525.
Second.
We have a motion to approve by Councilmember Witt and a second by Councilmember Tyler. Do we have any discussion? See none. Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Haynes.
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle.
Yes,
Councilmember Tyler.
Yes.
Councilmember Witt.
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Resolution number 3525 approved. We'll move to item G, resolution number 3526.
A resolution of the East Ridge City Council authorizing the purchase of lighting for Camp Jordan Park from Musco Sports Lighting LLC through the Sourcewell Purchasing Alliance contract listing number 041123-MSL.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Giles?
Yes, good evening, Mayor and Council. The Parks and Rec Department is requesting approval and moving forward with updating the light project at Camp Jordan. The project will include light structures with the total light control, TLC for LED on fields 7 through 10, the sports cluster system with light control at the soccer stadium, product assurance warranty program that covers materials, on-site labor. It's 100% maintenance for 25 years. That would be on fields 7, 8, 10, 11, and the stadium. The control center for all lights needs from the computers or the Musco app. The project cost with bonding from Musco is $1,084,428. And then from EPB, we will have to add a transformer. That'll be $17,215.36, so it'll be a total of $1,101,643.36. Musco is with Sourcewell, 041123-MSL. They are also our current provider for lights now in the park, which again, we had, I think, 6 fields added years and years ago. Then we had another 10 fields added. This will actually complete the project. Fields 7 and 8 are on wood poles, and they are a turnkey system, and the lights actually bow out and don't cover most of the fields. Field 10 and 11 are 2 of the new fields that we added over by the zip lines 3 years ago. And then the soccer stadium, same thing. We're getting LEDs for them because it's a turnkey system, and we have about 30-something lights out now. So it was actually more affordable to switch over to the LED. I actually do have Greg with Musco here tonight. That has been our provider and that I've worked with very closely over the years. As what I just said in here, we can control these lights from our laptop. We can program them a month out, a day out, 15 minutes out. We can actually control it from our phones also. So those are some of the things that we already do now in the park. So that's all.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, Council, I'll entertain a motion for resolution number 3526.
Make a motion to approve resolution 3526.
Second.
Have a motion to approve by Councilmember Tyler and a second by Councilmember Whitt. Do we have any discussion or
one
questions?
question.
Yes, sir.
Why, refresh my memory on field 9, why it's not gonna be eliminated 100% from the maintenance.
Say that one more time, I'm sorry.
Refresh my memory on field number 9, because you've got, eliminating 100% of the maintenance costs for 25 years, field 7, 8, 10, and 11. Field 9 is not included?
Field 9 it was the Frisbee hole field, and we don't have anything out there, and we use that as just an extra field when we rotate fields. So 7 and 8, if you walk up, you have 4 or 5 concession bathrooms, 7, 8. The hole is number 9 back here, so it's in the very back by the creek. And it also floods a lot, so we weren't trying to put any lights back there. We were trying to stay with just 7 and 8, and then 10 and 11 by the zip line. 12 and 13 would be the ones behind where I live, which we didn't want to put any behind the residents right
Yeah.
now. So, but yes, that's why we just didn't include 9.
Well, I was just reading up there above that, it says light structure system with total light control TLC for LED Technologies fields 7 through 10.
I got you.
So I thought
No, so this would have been a typo, Greg, sorry.
where I'm lost.
Yeah, no.
7 through 10, less 9.
11
Yeah,
minus 9.
so it should have went 7, 8, 10, 11. I told you to catch it, so, we're good. But yeah, that would be the case. And then, like, actually, right now with the stadium lights, we actually have one light closest to the second house in our subdivision. There's a light turned in this lady's house. And we've had it turned and it keeps so.
Multiple times.
Yes,
Yeah.
so that was why I enlisted Musco when we started this. What can we do with the stadium too? And get everything on again, on our computers, not a turnkey, and it actually saves us more money that way. And these will be LEDs, which again, will save us money and kind of launch us into the next phase of the park when it comes time to start other projects for lights, so.
Awesome. Any other questions? All right, see none. Roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Haynes,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
Yes,
Councilmember Tyler,
Yes.
Councilmember Witt,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Resolution number 3526 approved. We'll move to item H, resolution number 3527.
A resolution of the East Ridge City Council to waive the fee for use of Camp Jordan Arena by the East Ridge Needy Child Fund for a toy show, car show fundraising event.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Collins?
Yes, Mayor and Council. The East Ridge Needy Child Fund is a 501c3 nonprofit. They have requested use of Camp Jordan Arena from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. on August 10th for their annual car show and annual toy show. Jessica Wheeler, a representative from East Ridge Needy Child Fund, is asking the city to waive the associated renting fees of the arena. The total renting fees for that day would be $1,200. In the past, the club has made around $5,000 from the event. All proceeds from this event do benefit the East Ridge Needy Child Fund. The purpose of the club is to sponsor and support all the needy child and families within the city of East Ridge. The club has met all of the requirements of our facility waiver policy we set last year in 2023. All of the paperwork is also on file with the city recorder. Staff recommends waiving the fees in support of this event, and I actually do have Debbie Colburn here, too, with the Needy Child Fund, if anyone has any questions tonight.
Thank you, ma'am. Council, I'll entertain a motion for resolution number 3527.
I make a motion to approve resolution number 3527.
All right, we have a motion to approve by Councilmember Witt and a second by Vice Mayor Haynes. Do we have any discussion?
I would just like to thank Debbie and everyone who works on the Needy Child Fund for everything they do. They work hard.
Absolutely. It's a great organization, great work, great members, providing some great things for children and families in our city. All right, roll call, Ms. Middleton.
Vice Mayor Haynes,
Yes.
Councilmember Cagle,
yes,
Councilmember Tyler,
Yes.
Councilmember Witt,
Yes.
Mayor Williams.
Yes. Resolution number 3527 approved. That's the last item we have on the agenda, so we'll move to the next item, which is discussion of tentative agenda for March 28, 2024 council meeting. Underneath old business, we will have a public hearing for ordinance number 1204, and then followed by the actual ordinance 1204, an ordinance of the East Ridge City Council to amend ordinance number 481 entitled the East Ridge Zoning Ordinance Article 6 Supplement Regulations and Exceptions in order to establish additional safety regulations and protections for the community. This would be the second and final reading, which passed earlier. Any questions, council? I see none. Underneath new business, we have an unnumbered resolution, approval for bids for shoreline restoration at Camp Jordan, Jack Dickert Pond. Bid will open March 13th, 2024. Ms. Skiles?
Yes, Mayor and Council. On Wednesday, March 13th, yesterday actually at 2:30, myself, Diane, and Janet opened up our final project on the pond from the grant from Tennessee American. I will present those bids at our next council meeting on March 28th. That right, March 28th? Yeah.
Yes.
Can't
Thank you,
keep
ma'am.
up.
Any questions, council? I see none. The next item is another unnumbered resolution, approval for bids for power of automatic license plate readers, ALPR. The bid opened on March 13th, 2024. Mr.
Yes,
Miller?
thank you, Mayor. East Ridge Police Department was awarded a grant for the purchase of 15 automated license plate readers. These will go on Ringgold Road. The cameras were under a grant. However, we need to run electric to those cameras, and that's what this item is for. Bid specifications were sent out with the closing date of March 13th. We open those? We opened those today, so these will be presented to you at the March 28th meeting. For award, this is not to install them. They're going to provide the cameras, install them, but we have electrical contractor that needs to run the electric to them. That's what this is for.
Thank you, sir. Council, any questions? See none. The next item is another unnumbered resolution, approval to solicit bids for installation of vinyl siding on sanitation/streets building. Mr. Miller?
Yeah, we're trying to enhance some of the buildings down there at our Public Works on Yale. The two-story building that's used for sanitation and streets building, we want to kind of aesthetically clean that up a little on the outside. We'd like to propose installing vinyl siding on the building. We have several estimates of this work. It does need to be bid out. The estimates that we've got have ranged between $15,000 and $20,000 for this work to be done. We do have $500,000, $500,000 in a capital improvement fund for upgrades to buildings at various sites. So this would qualify for that. As of the end of February, the balance in this fund totals $311,000. So I'm asking for council's authorization to bid this project out for consideration for award.
Thank you, sir. Council, have any questions?
I got one. It's a two-story building. We're going to just vinyl the top and paint the bottom, or vinyl the whole 2 stories? Because it's a block foundation down there.
Yeah, I would probably look at painting the bottom part of it to match the vinyl. I don't really see putting vinyl on top of concrete.
Do we have an issue with flooding down there, so that might
Yes,
solve
we-
your vinyl problem?
Yeah, we do. I mean, we haven't had a flood down there since I've moved to East Ridge, but that's not to say that we couldn't have one next week.
Yeah, you done jinxed
The
us
way
now.
this weather's- I don't believe in all that jinx stuff anyway, but
Yeah, you're doubling down now.
I know.
All right. Any other questions? All right, we'll move to the next item's another unnumbered resolution, approval to solicit bids for replacement repair of roof on the maintenance/storage building, the old city garage at the sanitation street department site.
Okay, this is the second project that we have proposing. The roof on the maintenance storage building on the east end is shot. We'd like to tear that part of it down and then re-roof the rest of the maintenance and storage building. I think in time, we could probably do some painting on the outside with city crews. The building is used for the maintenance and storage of equipment and supplies. Again, this one would fall under the definition of the capital improvement fund for upgrades to buildings. We've received a couple quotes on this. The roof project ranging from $50,000 to $75,000. So we're recommending to the city council that requesting your authorization to bid this project out and consideration for award at an upcoming council meeting.
Thank you, sir. Any questions, council?
Yes, sir. I would like to ask for us to go down there, the end that's toward the animal shelter,
Yes.
walk around the back where the offices are and the,
Yeah.
okay. Walk around the back where the light meter is, walk down through the back between it and the fence, look and see how much the walls have separated since I've left down there, because back when I was down there, it was condemned because the walls was coming this way. You could put your fingers in the gaps, and so they used that for the reason to condemn it back then. So I'm just wondering if it'll stand another roof on top.
Got it. Walked around that part of the building, didn't see anything, but we'll check it out again.
Thanks, sir. Any other questions? See none. The next item is another unnumbered resolution, approval to solicit bids for update of HVAC controls at City Hall. Mr. Miller?
Yes, sir. The energy system at City Hall is outdated. It was actually installed in 1994. It needs to be updated to better handle the air conditioning. If you come into my office, you need to wear a jacket or a sweater. Some of you have been in my office at various times. It seems Michael Howe has the same thing. It seems like that part of the City Hall. We have 6 zones. Unfortunately, those 6 zones cannot be controlled because the CPU is outdated and it just needs replaced. We get uneven temperatures in various sections of the city. You can turn around and set it, zone, and it's not going to adhere to what your setting is. So, again, we're looking at allocating the funds from the Capital Improvement Fund for upgrades to buildings. We've received several quotes on this. The quotes have come in between $15,000 and $20,000. This would bring in a new CPU, central processing unit, to be able to govern correctly the temperatures throughout the building. I'm asking you for your authorization to bid this project.
Thank you, sir. Council, do you have any questions? I see none. That is the last item we have on the tentative agenda for the 28th. Yes, sir?
I'm sorry, I do have one item. It's not an actionable item. We've been working, city staff has been working pretty heavily lately with HK Architects in regard to the site, the elevations, and the floor plan for the multipurpose pavilion that we have proposed to be constructed behind City Hall and the community center and the large open field back there. We are at the point right now where we want to give a presentation to the city council. I'd like to do that at the March 28th, not just to the city council, but also to the public to see what we're proposing, and then get your blessing on that project so we can start the detailed specifications and construction drawings on this. Once we get the blessing of the city council, hopefully on the 28th, then we'll be moving forward on the construction drawings and plans. Hopefully that would be about 4 months, so you're talking about April, May, June, July. If we can stay with our schedule, we can hopefully get this out to bid in August, September of this year, with probably construction looking at 10 to 12 months. So that one I would like to add, if the council's all right with that.
Good with it.
Okay,
Awesome.
thank you.
Any other business, council, that we need to consider for the next agenda? See none. Thanks, everyone, for joining tonight.